Welcome back to the dojo and welcome back to another 10-Minute Tuesday. I'm your host, Matt Lear. And, when we do a podcast, it's tough to get in all the information in such a short amount of time. And, I think our podcasts go about an hour, hour and a half. I'd love to have them go 2 hours or 3 hours. I just don't know if you guys have enough patience to sit through 3 hours of it. Let me know. Comment on this post and let me know if you guys are all for the longer format, because I will definitely do it. But to make up for that, we are launching a new series this Thursday called The Breakdown. And this is where we go back to our previous podcast, find the juiciest bits of information, and go in depth and break it down. And so this Thursday, we are breaking down episode 21 with Ty Jennings. That was Thinking Outside the Box. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that yet, go back, because that is a great podcast. And this week, I am joined by my friend Chris Grant and Ty Jennings. And we're going to go in and break down about 4 really key parts of that podcast, and we're going to go in deep. So what I'm going to do for you today is I'm going to let you listen in on a little snippet of it, so you get, a kind of a taste of what to expect on Thursday, and then tune in Thursday for the full episode. And the breakdown will drop once a month on the last Thursday of each month. So this will be something we do monthly. I hope you enjoy, and, give me some feedback. Go to the Instagram or Facebook, find the post for this, and drop some feedback in the comments section. And as always, please share the dojo as often as you can. It really helps us. We're fighting against the algorithms, and, we're trying to do this organically. So if you get some value out of this, please share this. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first episode of The Breakdown.
Why do I need to be in a tree? I'll carry the tree stand because it's light and it's compact. It's low profile. But if there's a tree, great. But I've been busted too many times being close to these deer beds, climbing a tree. It's taken me an hour to put 2 sticks up, and then there he goes. So a lot of times now, it's more anxiety driven. I can't bring myself to climb up. I'll just stay on the ground.
A lot of guys, that's a real foreign thing to do, to forego the tree stand. I got it on my back and then hunt from the ground.
Yeah, you have all your gear. You think you need to get in the tree and use that stuff. But if you're playing the wind already and you can get some ground cover, why not stay on the ground? If you're hunting that up close bed scenario, and I've done it many times where I've actually climbed that tree where I was taking forever to get up that tree, and I've bumped deer like that. Good bucks doing that. So I'm never afraid to just stay on the ground and get into some cover on the ground. You don't need to get into that tree. The advantage of getting into that tree is being able to see a lot more. I can say that. That's why we all hunt out of a tree, right? We're not on that ground level of that deer. But if you're already getting up close to a mature buck bed and his route, why do you need to get in that tree?
Well,
and a lot of it's hard for people to concept that, to stay on that ground.
I think, for me, if I put myself in that situation, a lot of times I don't have the specific bed. I'm hunting more of the complex.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking if I get up in the tree, then I can see further. And if he walks out and takes a different route, I'll have a shot.
Right.
Where if I stay on the ground, I feel like I'm really limiting myself to one tiny little run. And it makes me feel like I've just eliminated options for myself.
Yeah. So in that situation, what you just said is you're playing a more reserved game. Ty is getting right up into that buck bedding area. He's already done his homework. He knows where that buck is bedding. And he said it in his podcast. He's hunting 5-6-year-old bucks. These mature bucks, are in solitude areas. He's accessing it the right way. And he's getting within, what did he say, 40, 50 yards? I think 40 yards.
40.
If you don't have that security cover getting up into a tree that close, you will bust them. So why not play that ground game?
So it goes back to doing the homework.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't play that ground game if you don't have that homework done, and if you're not playing that up close, bed, scenario. I mean, there's no reason to be afraid to climb up into a tree. But when you're like, Ty, you already have your homework done, and you know that buck's route coming in and out of that bed, there's no need to get up in there.
So it's important to, like, for listeners too, then, to go back and listen. We're not going to be able to hit on every single point of this podcast. This is the deep dive part of it. So if you haven't listened to it yet, go back and listen to the full one, because he talks about glassing these river bottoms and these bedding areas to get an eye on these deer and watching their patterns, watching them move in and out. He will use trail cameras from time to time, but it doesn't sound like it's often. He's getting his actual eyes on the deer leaving the beds. And so he's got a really good idea of that. Even that idea is foreign for.
Yeah. I mean, off season, I've done that in off season. I'll climb a tree. I'll go glass from a tree if it's in big timber or whatever, river bottoms, fields, whatever high advantage that you can get where you can see, just as if you were going on an early September hunt out in the open plains, like get on the end of a draw, a finger, and get up high and glass a bunch. Like Ty's already coming into his deer season with a bunch of his homework done already.
So that's the difference too, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have to have your homework done.
You can't apply these tactics unless you've done that homework. Some of these tactics, some you can, but this one in particularly, like, I think you would be, if you're just get a general idea, then this probably isn't the method to use.
No.
Do you think, all right, let's just say this. If you only have a general idea, like, so you have, let's say you put up some trail cameras, you've gotten, a good buck regular on this trail camera. This trail camera is maybe 100 yards outside of bedding. He's hitting it. You're still getting him in daylight. You can kind of figure that out, but you don't have him pinpointed. The general. How would you approach that? Would you sit back and climb up, or would you even like sit back and just do an observation stand and just kind of get closer to where he's leaving?
Are we talking in season?
Yeah, we're talking in season.
In season.
This is for the guy who didn't get a chance to do that.
So if I'm in season and I do have cameras up and I'm getting them 100 yards away from the bedding area that I know that they're coming from, and they're daylighting.
Let's say it's iffy. Let's say it's like kind of like right at dark.
Right. Okay. So a lot of the mature bucks want to like wait till the last minute, right? So they get up, out of their beds. It's like, you're losing that. You're at your last 5-10 minutes of daylight. That's where Ty's getting it done because he's playing that within that 40 yards, So a lot of the times that people are too reserved and they are backed up, they're playing that route that they're getting them on camera 100 yards back. Well, now your situation is, now you're in that tree, right? And now you don't even want to get out of that tree because now you're going back and thinking, oh, that deer came through last 10 minutes. Now I'm afraid to get down because he could be coming. And then when you get down and it's dark, right at last minute, you're busting that deer out. You just screwed up your opportunity.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important to do your homework and get up close to bed, the mature buck beds.
So it's funny. I always find myself trying to find another way for the guy who didn't do that,
Yeah.
So there you have it. A small snippet from the breakdown. Drops this Thursday. And remember that the breakdown will drop the last Thursday of every month. So this will be a monthly thing that we do. I hope you really enjoy it. We've had this on the back burner for quite some time now, and I'm excited that we're finally here. So this Thursday at 5 a.m., the first episode of The Breakdown.